Hey guys, what's going on? It is Dangeles, and welcome back to episode number 3 of the Fantasy Village Let's Build. How's everybody doing? I'm back here today, ready to continue to make some progress. And at the end of last episode, guys, I was working here on this house, kind of creating a house identical to the first one that I built, with slightly different dimensions here. And one thing I did real quick in between videos, I decided to not do any building in between videos this time, just because I did so much in between the first episode and the second. So I decided to just go right off of where we left off last time, but I did make one small change. I actually moved this house over 2 blocks to, or I guess that direction, whatever that direction may be, to the left, I guess, relative to where I am. But it was connected right up against the side of this roof, and I didn't like that, so I decided to move it over. It still fits here in this little cul-de-sac looking area very nicely, so that's good. I'm undecided whether or not I'm going to keep this tree. It's a nice looking tree, but I don't know. It might be misplaced. Maybe if I move it somewhere else, it might look a little bit better. But today, I'm actually working without the shaders on right now. I'm just using the Conquest pack exactly the way it is without any shaders. And I gotta tell you something, guys. I actually really like it without shaders. I honestly might continue this without shaders. Definitely for this episode. I'll see what you guys have to say about that in the comment section, and I'll do what you guys prefer the most. But sometimes shaders are just a little bit too much, to the point where, you know, it kind of hurts your eyes when you're playing sometimes. So it's kind of like one of those things where sometimes I enjoy it, sometimes I don't. And today is just one of those days where I just feel like using just regular old lighting, no shaders. And this pack actually has some really cool features anyway. Like the grass still moves even without shaders, which is very, very cool. So and plus the performance is obviously a little bit better. My FPS is going to be a little bit higher when playing, which is always nice. But I'm going to pick up right where I left off. What I'm going to do today is finish up the exterior of this house right here, get the roof put in and everything like that. And then I'm going to start working on those cow stables over on the other side of this little area here, and kind of just try to wrap up this area if I can on this video. But thank you guys for tuning in again for another episode. I really appreciate you guys giving this series some support. First 2 episodes have done very well, which I'm happy about, because whenever I can start a new Let's Build series and it's well received, I'm always, you know, feeling good about that. So hopefully you guys are enjoying it. So far, so good for me in terms of enjoying the build. I'm really confused on how I'm supposed to be lining this up right now. It is just giving me some serious trouble. Okay, it's 1 block ahead of that. That is the last time I'm going to check, because I am just really just not grasping this right now. But yeah, so I'm just going to continue to build this. This could potentially be a pretty long series. You know, we're going to be on episode 3 here. I feel like I'm working decently fast, but you know, by the time this episode's done, in a perfect world here, I have some purple blocks from LD, but in a perfect world here, we'll be able to, you know, get the cow stables done here today, or at least have them like started and the design implemented and everything like that. And then, you know, we can go from there and start working towards maybe like the larger area of the town, because I have plenty of things that I want to build. Plenty of things. I want to build like a wall wrapping around or something like that. Like not like a big wall, just like a tiny little kind of surrounding perimeter gate, more or less. Not more of a gate than a wall. We'll see what happens if that actually kind of comes together here. But I'm going to start by getting the roof of this built. I feel like I could just kind of world edit, copy and paste that. But I'm just going to build it by hand, just because I still prefer to just place the blocks down and kind of see it come together slowly. As much as I think world edit is a great tool, very convenient for Let's Builds like this, that aren't obviously going to be as massive as something like CLD, I think it's totally cool for me to just kind of take it slow and just, you know, place the blocks and just have a good old time. But yeah, anyway guys, I'll be working on this for today's episode, and we'll see where it goes from here. So let me start actually. So what I'm doing with these roofing designs, at least on the first build, I kind of have it double stacked with wood, and then I fill in the, I believe this is gray stained clay. I fill that in around, okay? That's kind of how that's going to work. And then I think I might add some sort of curvature, if I could get my words out of my mouth correctly. Some sort of curvature on this roof, maybe just to give it a little bit more detail, something that it doesn't necessarily have on the other roof. Not saying that that one has a lack of detail, but with these medieval builds, oh, I can't even say medieval, with these you know, fantasy style houses and things like that, you can really think outside the box when it comes to shaping and just really go ballistic with the detail if you want to, because that's kind of how this whole idea works here. But I'm going to place a few of these stairs backwards. Actually, I'm just going to punch these open. And let's see, that's going to go about 4 blocks out there. Looks like 5 there. So if I do that and that and that, that should be 7 and 7 or 6 and 6. Might be 6 and 6. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be 6 and 6, which is perfectly good. It doesn't need to be an, how should I say this? It doesn't need to be an odd number on this side, is what I'm trying to convey. No need for that, so we're good. I'm going to place a slab right here. And then I'm going to do upside down stair, 2 slabs. Okay, so upside down stair is going to go like that. A couple of slabs. We're going to have to trim this tree just a tad. Get the landscaping duty back up in here. And then I'm going to place a few more of these stairs upside down. And then let's do 2 more slabs right there. And that should be pretty good if I take a step back here. I want to say that that's lined up. For some reason, that doesn't look right. Yeah, I'm looking at it, guys, and it looks like it's a little off center, but it's not. So it might just be because of these blocks here are giving me a false sense of perception. But let's go ahead and start to get this filled in with some of these beautiful, beautiful gray stain blocks. I was actually taking a peek here before the start of the video at some of the other options I have for roofing. Obviously, we can use my personal favorite block in the entire pack, which is the mossy stone brick. You can honestly use that for roof and have like a stone roof. What a beautiful block. We can use that if we want. But I think this block just looks better just because it kind of looks like siding. And we also have cyan as an option right here. Several other things. Like these are honestly, I feel like they're almost designed for roofing. Like I can take a look at here at this brown. This block, I feel like we can make a roof out of that. Maybe that'll be the cow stable roof because it's a little bit more run down. Here's what cyan looks like. It's just a slight variation in color. To kind of, you know, move it away from the gray. So maybe I'll do a mix of gray and cyan potentially here on this roof. But what I wanted to do with this roof is kind of just add some curvature to it if I can. And the way I would do this is something like this. I'd kind of like take 3 blocks out here and then put, you know, 3 blocks underneath like that. And then let's say 3 blocks out right there, or 4 blocks, or whatever, it doesn't matter. Just kind of creating some informity in the roof, just for the sake of detailing, you know, kind of like that. You see what I mean? Instead of just being just like straight lines and everything's like nice and even, there's just like a little bit of, you know, inconsistency here. I don't really know exactly what word to use, but hopefully you guys can kind of understand what I'm looking for here. And this is something that I can do pretty much throughout, so it should be pretty nice. I'm going to place these few blocks here. I kind of put that wooden beam across there as some sort of support. Really not necessary, but it might change some things on the inside. So you kind of see what I mean, and I can continue that. Like I can do, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks through here, and then take these down and do like 1, 2, 3, 4 right there. And just kind of continue this all the way up, and you know, I can have it open right there, and you can maybe even see a little bit of that wood sneaking through. And I can do that on both sides of the roof. Like, you know, it just adds a little bit to the roof, changes it up a little bit, which is honestly fine with me. And something I can even do here at the top if I wanted to, and I can try this out. This is going to be 3 blocks right here. I'm going to actually add 1 more. I'm going to make it so it's 4 on each side, so that's going to be the 4 blocks right in the middle. I can actually break these and actually just place some stairs on this level instead. So that way there's even more of kind of like a curvature to the roof. You can kind of see what I mean by that. I can also place like some slabs here just to kind of make it so that transition is a little bit better. I can maybe even knock like a block off there, maybe even knock 2 blocks off there, and you know, it just kind of makes it so there's a little bit more detail and curvature to the roof. And I can kind of take a look and step back from here and look at it, and you know, I think that looks pretty good. It's not like perfect. I don't know if I like the slabs. The slabs might, or honestly, it might look better if I place these blocks back and then actually make these stairs again. Or maybe even make these, you know, full wooden blocks and then put slabs on top of those. Actually could look pretty cool. Something like that. So it's some kind of little curved roof. I could do like even like a slope of the entire roof instead of just making like one chunk at a lower level in the middle. Just so it's a little bit less gradual, or a little bit more gradual, I should say. But that looks pretty cool. So I'm just going to quickly cut the video, fill in the other side, and then just get a few things figured out in the interior. I'm also, while I'm at it, I'm going to copy and paste this right here to the other side. Just because I want to speed up the process a little bit for you guys here. So let me just go ahead and do those things. Alright guys, I just got the painting down here on the front. And there you have it. There is the exterior of this house all finished up. Other side of the roof is good to go, as well as the back. Thinking about actually patching up that window back there after I put it in. Just because, you know, there's not much of a sight back here. So, I mean, if I actually trim this hill and you looked out that window, you'd have a pretty nice view of this pond. So, could get rid of that. Another thing I'm going to do is actually go through and get rid of these mushrooms. I never really understood why they put mushrooms in the flower. I mean, I know why they did it, because for survival, so you could actually get those blocks, but they just look so out of place in creative mode. So I'll probably end up getting rid of some of those at some point. I'm not going to worry about that right now, obviously. But one thing I actually am interested in possibly, you know, messing around with is replacing some sand. So I'm actually just going to go ahead and just dabble with this for a second. I'm going to go ahead and grab that as my main position. And just go flying up here to right around here and grabbing this as my second position. So I'm going to highlight that area, and then I think I'm going to do a little replace job here. I'm going to replace sand with grass and just see how it looks. You know, we're just going to mess around with it. So let's just go ahead and do replace sand with grass. Let's take a look. It's going to create that theme. Actually, I really like that. Instead of the kind of the sandy hill there, we can just kind of make it grass, and all those blocks that are compounded like that, they'll turn back into dirt, so it'll look even that much more that much better once, you know, more time passes. But I honestly, as much as I like sand as a block, I'm just not sure if I like it for a medieval village or a fantasy village or whatever you want to classify it as. I just think like lots of grass, lots of fields, it's just going to look better. Maybe like right down on the water, sand will look better. But, you know, I just don't think it fits this area. So I think this grassy hill fits just a lot more. So all these like little blocks here I can just replace by hand real fast. So we can get started here with this cattle farm, which should be pretty interesting to kind of come up with a design for that. I've never really built something like that before outside of, you know, survival mode. I also was thinking that maybe the reason why I didn't necessarily like this tree here is because of the color of the leaves. It just seems a little bit too limey, if that makes any sense. I kind of prefer the darker color leaves for these style of builds. So I might actually just make that the same tree, move it away from the house a little bit because I think it's a little cramped. Maybe move it to like where I'm standing right here, and then swap out the leaves with some spruce instead of some oak leaves, and I think that could look better. Let me just take a quick look here at some of the other leaf options. Yeah, a spruce is nice. We could do maybe jungle. I don't know. Hold on a second. I'm actually kind of curious. I just kind of caught my eye. These cobweb blocks are actually pretty cool. You can use that as maybe some, well, I mean, we'll obviously use it for chimney smoke, but maybe we can actually build like some sort of like spider's den, like Skyrim or something like that. Have one of the big frostbite spiders, have like a cave for it or something. That would fit to the fantasy theme. Maybe we can do something like that, little spider's den, maybe over there. And it's like, don't go near the spider's den. That's where people go to die, or something like that. And say that in like a Nordic accent. I think that'd be pretty cool. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started here building this this little house that we're gonna make for the cows. It's gonna be a little cow house, like Jesse Pinkman would say. So let's go ahead and just actually get rid of this little perimeter here, because it's really just a placeholder. It has really no meaning beyond that meaning being a placeholder. let that grass fill in itself. So the way I want to do this is have, well, I really don't know how I want to do this. So let's just kind of start, and I'll just let the building speak for itself. I want to have maybe pillars jumping every 3 blocks. So we're going to have another one right here. And then we'll do 4 of these up to the corner. So 4 pillars. Each one of the pillars is going to have a fence gate opening where there's going to be some cows, and they'll be sheltered. They're going to be underneath of a roof. So I'm going to do a little grid here of 4 pillars that are 3 blocks away from each other. The height doesn't really matter at this point. I'm going to jump 5 blocks away from over here and place this here. So we're going to do a little grid of these pillars of wood, which are very, very nice looking. Lots of detail. I can't say enough about this pack. Great texture pack here. This is one of the better texture packs I've ever seen. It is something special here. But let's go ahead. So we got that put in. Let's go ahead and do. I'm trying to decide, you know, how big should I make these entrances? Like, I can do it like that. I was thinking about placing some upside down stairs on those, placing some regular stairs on top of that, but then coming in with some slabs, and I'm too lazy to go back in the inventory, so I'm just going to grab them off that house, turn these into slabs here, like so, kind of just get that filled in, and, you know, just kind of work around that. So I definitely want to utilize these blocks, because I think that they are meant, I'm not sure, though. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they are meant for roofing. So I'm going to use them, because I like them a lot. So same exact thing on this side, in fact. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of get this going. I'm going to continue to use the spruce wood stair slab, you know, plank theme to go along with the oak wood logs throughout the entire series. It's a combo that works really nice in the default. It works really nice here in the Conquest pack. Can't really go wrong with it unless you're like doing it in the city texture pack, which honestly it looks good even in there because we've changed the spruce blocks quite a bit. I might actually make that stone there. I don't know. I'm gonna leave that open for now until a better idea presents itself. I was thinking about even putting some extra pieces of wood underneath of here, kind of as like a reinforcement, and then also doing some stairs here as well, like so. So I don't want it to be like too small where you can mistake it as a survival build, but at the same time I want it to have some detail and not be too high off the ground, because after all it's just gonna be cows. Like, that's all I'm gonna do, is just simply spawn in some cows. There's nothing to it. So let's go ahead and take this across. And if you're wondering if this is going to be like a standalone structure, what I'm building right here, not my plan. What I want to do is connect a small shed to it. Nothing the size of what you see here, by no stretch of the imagination, but something small that will kind of just fit right up against that nice and easily, and hopefully will, you know, create like a nice just connection to it, I guess. So we got that. Let's go ahead and actually place the stairs here as well. Just kind of building these stalls for cows, you know. The stalls for the cows. Take these wooden beams across as, you know, theoretical support. Always got to say theoretical support, because this is Minecraft. We can have a floating sand palace held up by a torch if we wanted to. Alright, so let me actually go ahead and go to my compass here, and let's go ahead and get some fences out. I'm going to use some, well, I have actually quite a bit of options here. I can use dark oak wood fences. These actually could be the key, because these are actually going to look a little bit more like actual fencing that could hold in a cow. So I might actually use these. They are a little dark in contrast, but as of right now, I'm going to give them a shot. Okay, these, I can't tell whether, okay, that's the, sometimes it's hard to tell whether it's the fence that opens or the fence that closes, you know what I mean? I mean, you can kind of tell in the middle here. That's pretty cool how it opens. I like that animation. It's not, you know, 2 gates down the middle. It's kind of one off to the side that swings open. I like it. Alright, and there's going to be a little bit of a transition here in terms of like the leveling of the grass, which I'm also going to account for by doing that. I'm probably actually going to kind of just terraform this just a little bit. Haven't decided if I'm going to get rid of these roses here. I kind of like them, so I might leave them. Let's go ahead and get these last few fences filled in right there and around this corner as well. I'm probably going to do something more detailed with this, but as a start, we'll go with that. So if we walk in here, can I go ahead and place some more fences on the inside? So each one of these little cow pens is going to be nicely kept. I'm going to do that there. I'm worried a cow might be able to kind of scale that and get out. I mean, I don't even think I can get out, but then again, I suck at parkour. I want to say that you could make that jump. I want to say you could. I just think I'm really bad at this game. You know, I'm just going to say that you can make that jump, alright? I don't know for sure, but I'm just going to say you can. Okay, so the general structure of this is coming together. I think I might ultimately switch out these fences, though. I don't know if the contrast is not really something I'm liking. But anyway, I'll do that later if I decide to. Let's go ahead and get some cow eggs if I can. Spawn cow, that's just what I wanted. So let's see what the cows look like in this pack. There's one. Okay, so we have a bunch of different cow options. There's our 3 cows, actually 3 different colors, which is just excellent. I'm also going to go ahead and get some hay. Gotta love the hay bales. They look great in almost every pack. I use them for road dividers in the City Advanced. Oh, that's... Wow. That was very embarrassing for me. I am just clearly an exceptional builder here. Oh my god, that thing just jumped right out. Yeah, that's actually a problem. I might have to either the way, I don't know, maybe I'm just gonna have to have these hay bales outside of the pens, because that cow just made me look like a complete fool. I'll let him run free now. He honestly deserves it. So I might have to redesign that a little bit if I want to have the hay on the inside. Maybe I can double stack these fences and make the whole thing 1 block taller. I think I'll ultimately end up doing that. But as of right now, though, I'm going to focus on something a little bit different, and that's going to be kind of filling in this roof here. So even though this is a smaller build, roofing designs are going to be very steep still. I fully plan on making these, you know, just as steep as ever. So it's going to be like 2 blocks going up. And luckily for me, I made this an odd number, thinking with my noggin here. So that's good. Actually, now that I think about it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so it is an odd number. So we actually don't need this. That was what was confusing me. So that's good. One thing I am going to do, though, is grab some oak wood again. I think I might do this. I think I might just do something. Okay, hold on. Let's get this filled in first. And as far as this block is concerned, the one I'm placing right now, which I believe is going to be brown stained clay, I might use this, might not. It does look very run down. It's going to be a pretty big contrast from what you see over there. May not be a block I'll use for the entire build. I might mix it in with the gray clay, you know, at points. But as of right now, I'm going to use it as the main block because I like it. So let's go ahead and actually grab these stairs here. I'm going to place these on top of each one of those logs I just placed. Kind of like that. Looks pretty good. And then I got to kind of frame this around the edge as well, which I'm going to do. So I believe I already did it over here. Yep. Okay, so what I'm going to do is actually frame this around the edge as well. And I got to decide just how exactly I'm going to kind of connect this over to the sides here, which I don't think I'm going to do right now. But I'm just going to take a look at this, take a step back, and see what I've done, see if I like what I've created. I gotta say, I'm a fan of this. I think this is coming together pretty nicely. What I'm ultimately gonna do, though, is I'm gonna raise the level of this thing by 1 block. So basically, this here would be 4 instead of 3. And then I'm going to make it so the fences are going to be double stacked so the cows can't escape, even if I put a few hay bales on the inside of the pen. I also might extend the pen back a little bit up towards the banks a little bit more if I choose to do so. And then, of course, next episode, I'm going to build a little shed that's going to connect to it. So just as like a first run through, I think that's a pretty solid looking start there. So I'll make the changes that I just mentioned, and I'll see you guys back for episode number 4. So thank you everybody for watching this video. I really appreciate it. I'll probably throw the shaders back on. Actually, I'll read the comments first, see what the consensus is. I'm sure there's not going to be a consensus because everybody likes different stuff. Maybe I'll put a poll in there or something like that. I'm not sure, but anyway, guys, it's been Danlags. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. And if you want to leave a like rating, that would mean a lot to me. Shout out to that cow that escaped. He's a beast. So I'll talk to you guys on the next episode. Peace out.